And we're live. Good evening, Dabbleverse. It is I, Schmuel Buckman, doing a quick one off the deck. I can't tell whether you guys, I've always called it a deck. Somebody else called it balcony. And then when I saw Johnny Boy doing his beer on the balcony, I thought, oh, I'll call it ah balcony with no beer. All right. Easy one, two, three. Did we decide calling the show Buck Talk? No, Buck will come later. Figure I'll move into more Buckman later on, but we'll see what happens. Um, so what's going on out there? We got Chris Mack getting ready to go to bed. Thank you, Chris, for being here. We enjoyed it. Um, got to juice up my ears a little bit. And how's the sound, kids? We doing okay out there? Should be good. I tested everything tonight. Not that that means anything, but I did test it. So hopefully it'll all work. But it's going to be noisy out here. I got planes going over. I got I got all sorts of shit happening around here. But we're doing our best. And I wanted to do a show tonight. I usually do on Tuesdays, but I got delayed at work and stuff was happening. I'm gonna move my camera, so if you get nauseous with camera moving, just hang on a sec. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Um, so yeah, I don't have any guests tonight. I just decided to come on. Thank you, Isaac Walmart. Appreciate that. Um, I see my boy Dr. Chow is here. I think he was trying to insult me earlier on Twitter, but he didn't do it. Um, but who knows? So I haven't really been paying too much attention to the Dabbleverse in the last little bit. I've been kind of busy. Um, but did catch PDP yesterday. Talk about that a bit. Um, saw Rob sold in a robe, which was something that I could have spent most of, I could have lasted the rest of my life without seeing. And I just turned off the fan, so there's not a significant amount of noise. And I'm moving stuff here. Um, yeah, I don't really have a guest. Luckily, I hadn't planned on anyone coming tonight. On Thursday, I'll have Leo, Leo, the paralegal guy who did the thing on Steel Toe, because we want to talk about some of these lawsuits that are happening. The Denver Metro Audits guy, he's like a First Amendment auditor. He is suing Frauditor Troll, who basically makes fun of him, kind of like a didn't work, did it? Sorry, I'm trying to get the lights work. Um, anyway, Frauditor Troll is pretty funny because he does a lot of videos on the First Amendment auditor guys. I can't stand they annoy the shit out of me. And he's suing him because he's been using his clips, but his lawsuit doesn't look very good. And then you got Ethan Klein suing three people, three women actually, who just fully streamed his show, and Klein essentially set them up in a funny way. He registered his copyright, he did everything, And then they came on and they were running his show, and at least one of them was saying, "Oh, this is great. You can watch it here, and then you don't have to pay that guy." So I thought, um, so I have mixed feelings about. I like Clippers, um, but I really don't like people that just run your show. I mean, it's one of my big beefs with Kevin Brennan because he does it purposely just to try to fuck with Ray to keep the money away from him. And metal, I'm over here. I'm over here. Is the Minnesotan chatting or streaming? So I was trying to catch up on shit today. So I did watch PDP, but the two things that I thought were really funny aside from that were Aaron, I saw first talk about Red Bar and how Red Bar opened his package and uh, uh, just like, oh, and he was very complimentary and then I watched the Red Bar clip. Um, I mean, obviously, Red Bar likes Aaron more than Melton, but he looks down upon both of them as if they're shit on the bottom of his shoe. Um, and he sort of isn't complimenting Aaron, and then he decides to call. It's like, oh yeah, Aaron's wife, the Megamind. But I don't know how people watch Red Bar. I got to be honest with you. Um, the same with the other guy, Jesse guy. It's like Chad with the Roadcaster, you know, boo boo boo, boom, crash, bang, constantly. It, God, you think after all this time of doing it, they learn that they don't have to, that it's annoying, and that it's annoying as fuck. So, in any event, um, lighting a cigar. So we are going to pull down Twitter, and I don't, I'm not a huge fan of the way Twitter counts viewers, and I find it kind of annoying because I get, how do I explain? Um, I don't know. It's just like deceptive, and I'm tired of discussing it with people. So always best to just ignore shit. Oh, look at how that worked out. And there we go. I got MGD here. Wow, welcome MGD. Uh, I saw you and Dr. Chow earlier today on Twitter going at it. Twitter was a little bit fun today, and oh, that's so funny. Somebody else just went live too. Um, Shut up, Chow. You insulted everyone at the table. Well, that's what Chow does, right? Isn't uh, Chow's like he considers himself the master troll, and I've had him. I've invited him on the show many times, but never makes it. Always with a really nice thing. OG Mumbling Nick is mad at me. Apparently, he went live at the same time I did, but I don't know. I thought he was going earlier. It doesn't really matter. But I wanted to take a look. Looking over here on chat on Twitter, um, and thought I saved it and I didn't. Let's see. Oh, MGD. 1 hour ago. Karmic, why am I the only one openly giving a fuck about this kid and his show? And and then Stealth had his comment because Stealth always has to have a comment. Um, but MGD, were you the one today that talked about Brennan counting other people's money? I mean, he's never going to stop that. That's his whole gimmick. And he likes taking, he also likes fucking with Ray. He'll complain Ray doesn't make any money, but then he'll stream snipe his show and like, oh, give me Ray's money. So obviously, Ray must make something because why else would Kevin be sniping him, right? Because we know Kevin doesn't do anything if there's no money involved. Um, Karmic X is quite smitten with MGD's booty. Is it MGD? Does he know what the real booty looks like, or are you trolling him? It's going to be like Stuttering John accepting, um, you know, pretty pictures from women that from women that don't exist. Um, Kevin wouldn't change. We lost a fresh young talent for no apparent reason. According to MGD, Kevin wouldn't change. We lost a new, fresh young talent for no apparent reason. Who did we lose? What am I missing? Is Karmic not going on Kevin's show anymore? That doesn't seem likely. Seriously, tell me. Uh, I think it's all collapsing in. I think I feel like the Dabbleverse is collapsing in on itself. I mean, once you heard Carl get mad at Tukey for saying shit about the Villaroma, uh, you know, it's like it was all over. It was a joke, and they do thing. Oh, so it must be the real thing. Oh, Karmic is not doing a show, so I'm sure he'll be there. Um, it's not like he's got, you know, they're beating down the doors. Oh, I blame Ray. Um, how do you retire? You're only doing this for 2 months. Wait. Somebody, what's going? I can't figure it out. What's going on with Carm? He's just off tonight, right? Like I'm sure he'll be on later. Wasn't he on like at I don't know 2, 3 o'clock in the morning last night? I seem to remember. I was lying in bed going to sleep to YouTube, and I saw he was live. So these cigars are great. They're nice. They're cheap. They taste good. They never stay lit. Apparently, they say it's because it's all natural. Um, let's see. MGD, and when he does, they mega awkward and sketchy. Uh, yeah. Well, wow, Schmuel, not. I'm really not because this, part of the thing is Karmic blocked me everywhere, and um, he's got this like fecal fixation with me, and so I feel uncomfortable. I don't want to torment the guy, but I've really been off the grid probably for the last 3 days, maybe. We did a show Saturday, and then that was pretty much a lot of the Dabbleverse stuff that I've been doing. Uh, are you guys are kidding me, right? He stepped down um, last week or so. Karmic lost his gumption. Uh, so sometimes it's losing gumption. Sometimes what happens is you've been waiting a real long time to do something. It's the curse of the open micers, you know, the people that do the first show and they kill. They absolutely kill. In their second show they do all right and they get buzz from the first one. It lasts a little while. But what happens is they don't have anything new. And so I don't know, they just sort of fade out and but Karmic is a talented guy. If he puts his nose to the grindstone and writes out some stuff, I think he'll be fine. So uh well, God bless you all, irregardless. Stu, I, I irregardless is one of those words I laugh when I hear. Um, I actually don't know, but MGD is worried. So if MGD is worried, you are worried. Is that what goes on there? And we had OK Sorcerer, and let me just do this real quick. And let's see, Isaac Walmart. Maybe we'll get a second show from the now defunct KB. KB, that was like, wasn't it? She was doing one or did one. I don't really know. I don't really know what. Uh, I fucked up. I'm sorry, man. Hold on. I think I messed up Isaac, and I apologize if I did. Uh, mm. This is so funny. When I started doing this, I was like, nah, I'm never getting a moderator. I'm never doing any of those things. And now what's happening is the chat actually moving, and I did something bad. Isaac, I apologize for what I just did to you. I didn't mean to. So I'll send you a personal note later on. And let's just say, uh, KB, I said this isn't for me and never did it again. What did you think? What was not for you, KB? Like, did you just not like what people were, you know, saying about it, or was it something that you really didn't like, or just didn't feel comfortable doing it? That's what I'm wondering. Uh, um, Del Rey, the answers are up in uh, wherever the hell they're up. They're up in Twitter. Dr. Child to make respect in which some sense that you respect him saying that, or you will back off like he said. I'm trying to do it. Oh, doing a solo show. KB, that's like the hardest thing in the world. And seriously, because in the beginning, I didn't want to do a solo show, and I was doing them with Dave, and Dave would like just not show up. And then I was like, oh man, we already started. I started this, and like I got to continue, and it took a long time, and I still don't feel comfortable doing it. Like I can't believe that there's 32 people on YouTube, now 31, that uh, care about me or what I'm talking about. Um, oh, Del Rey. Sam Bibley, this show is boring, Haas. Jings is telling good stories. All right, let's go there. Um, so, in any event, whatever, man. You know, this is at Del Rey. I'm switching back and forth. All right, who's Jings? I don't even know. Am I supposed to know who that is? And thanks for sharing that stuff. All right, let's take a quick poll. Who in this universe thinks Philly won or Quad won or it was a tie? And while you're answering that, so there we go. Oh, Soup Party. Um, I like the Soup Party guy, but I'm not really into. I get like he always is like he's great because he chats, he super chats or whatever the hell you call it, super tips here, which is fantastic, which you could do too, supertip.g/Buckman. Um, and but I think I might have aged out of those guys. Like it would be too old and not fun for me and not fun for them. So there we go. All right. We got anything on uh Del Rey? I can prove you wrong there. He super tips me. So there you go. So what can I tell you, buddy? What can I tell you? And not only have we've gotten quite a number of Soup Party super tips here. Um, as a matter of fact, he is one of the top super tippers to this show. And so there you go. Um, well, if you're going to say things, you got to get it right. So I don't know, but we got we read you. Like I said, you got to get it right. And so that was the deal. But anyway, I guarantee the karmic will be back. I guarantee that Kevin will be back. And oh, karmic is go. This is very funny. Cigarette Jones. Um, karmic is going live to stick it to you. Yeah, he's really not. But to be honest with you, I need to kind of wrap up early tonight. So um, the more he goes, the better off I am. All right, listen, I don't want to, I'm not trying to shit on the guy. I'm just asking a question. Um, when I see his stuff, what I used to see was he, and maybe I'm wrong, but I used to see he used to have like 129. I saw 129. I saw 149. I saw that he was definitely in over 125, kind of with regularity. And lately, I've been looking at, when I see the numbers, they're in the 70s and the 50s. Is that just because other guys are on, or um, are people getting tired of the bit? I mean, we have any idea of how that's happening? And Panhandler, shit on him, you pussy. Um, he's a clown, man. What can I tell you? Right? He's a self-destructive clown. That's what makes him interesting, but he's talented. And so, you know, w- what can I tell you? Frankly, I think the guy could succeed. But what do I know? Yeah, it's a boycott. It's a boycott due to his disrespect to you. Yeah, he does not. This fucking guy does not like me. I don't know what he's doing. Uh, wait a second. Hold on a second. I was claiming. I still said he's talented. You're the one claiming how talented he is, hack. I think I said this when I was talking to Dixon a long time ago. I was like, I think it's a flash in the pan. I don't think you're around that wrong. And Pat is like, no, this guy's going to be around a while. And apparently, he was his super tips to Pat were written well. He seems to have that AI talent shit going. So, let's hope we can keep it. Let's hope we can keep it up. What I told Karmic about um, everything, and I did not, I never tell him how to do his business, but um, I did say, hey man, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just want to kind of perfect it because that's whatever. But he keeps fighting people. Uh, Queen of the Machine was written MGD. Um, I have to be, when it comes to me, and I've never really been much of that kind of a music guy, kind of more into bluegrass and shit. And I was just laughing because I hadn't really listened to his songs. And then I like listened to Ghost Part, and I'm like, it sounded very like AI promptish, like AI, give me some words that fit in this area. Um, and then I did yesterday actually listen to the words in Bull Machine. Oh my God, it's awful. It really is. And I don't know if uh, here we go. AI isn't a talent. This is from Real Media Play. AI isn't a talent. His lyrics are English nonsense generated by Chinese AI. I mean, yeah, it's possible, but look, I'm old enough to remember when the guy's getting up there with, couple of records, you know, mixing it up and shit. That was considered no talent as well. So, and it created an entire genre of music, which a lot of you guys are into. Um, Dr. Chow and Mega Jig, do you want to do a show with me and Dave from Casey Bar and Tavern? Um, fuck knows, man. Schmuel, do you take the Dabbleverse so seriously? In what way? I mean, it's been said, right? It's a community. I enjoy it. I've met a lot of the people in it, and I like them. Um, but do I take it as seriously as like Adam? No, not 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 at all. But I am amazed at characters like um, Rob Saul. I again, not a guy that I'm too terribly interested in, but to see him in the stupid robe thing, and he's been around forever, and it's like he just I don't know what it is. Like I have to give him credit for being persistent, but man, what a fucking idiot. And I had a somebody was telling me the other day that he's fascinating. And he's fascinating to watch and all this shit. And I don't get it. I like when these guys are self-destructing. Um, the important question is why I am not big timing stealth chaos. I invited him on. I gave him dates and he sort of begged off or wanted other people to come on. And I want to do a one-to-one with the guy, you know? It's like that's kind of my thing. Because the other night, Thursday night, when I had Ava on, and it was just yelling, and interrupting, and Nick was and it just gets to be too much. Um, so unless it's like a topic that we're doing, um, uh, I'm not really. I I I don't want to do like Stealth wants to tell me what I'm supposed to do, and he wants to tell me how to run my show, and he wants to tell me that I take too long. He wants to tell me a lot of things. Um, and if he wants to tell me those things, I'm willing to listen, but he's got to say them to me face to face, right? Not, I don't want to bring in other people. And then the other thing is, I don't want a Geno thing where I'm supposed to, because I've been fighting with him forever, supposed to go on and like finally confront Gino. And what he does is he brings somebody else on to cover for him. And then when we finally get our chance to talk, he's like, "Oh, I gotta go. I can't stay." And I'm tired of these fucking cowards. So, and look at me. I'm certainly not a man to fear. That is for goddamn sure. So, uh, the final boss sounds like stealth. Yeah, I kind of felt bad for you, final boss. I happened to be moseying through the Clown Town thing when you were on there, and I'm glad you're back because you should never let embarrassing yourself chase you away from the internet because God knows I've done it a million times. Um, but, dude, it was bad. It was really bad. I mean, you're going to get picked on a lot for that forever. So figure out a way out of it. Oh, wait, and isn't the final boss like now Karmic's music producer or something? Um, Final boss went back on Clown Town. Fuck, right after he got banned from chat too. I thought he quit. This is what happens is with me. I have limited knowledge. This is why Sarah gets pissed off at me. Actually, let's text Sarah and see if he's around. I had sent the link to somebody else and told them that because they wanted to talk about PDP and that they might pop in, but I don't really know. Um, if Mole, if that's where you want to be, knock yourself out and go there. Oh, and I had Mazzy said she would come on, but I told her we should do if she's going to come on, we should do a non MKE show. I think that would be pretty interesting. But then it was like, "Oh, well, what do we talk about? But I guess we'll find it. Um, Mole, know where I go, I want stealth. Really? But what do you? All right, Shmuel. Well, try to get Karmic to have me on. I'm telling you, if Karmic and I did a face-to-face stream, we'd be chuckling away like two little girls, just the way he was with Mr. Kill, right? He was on. You saw that on Brennan. He's like saying all sorts of shit, blah 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 about Mr. Kill, and then Mr. Kill and him are on together, and he does as usual, like, "Oh, I didn't say I was kidding," or "I was probably drunk and I don't remember that." So, and then they went to chuckle through the little girl chuckle. Um, Anyway, I just sent Sarah the thing. I'm only gonna stay on probably till 11:30. All right, opinion. Apparently, them boys like to clown, but not too much. I'm the guy that got Scott Sarah to cam up, and I guess Papa Kill wants the credit for it or something. Um, yeah, there is no credit. You're not gonna get credit in the Dabbleverse. I was doing a personal sort of study-ish research. And what I laughed about is some of the words that people use in the Dabbleverse, they hear it once from somebody else, and then they repeat it like the next day, like it's their own. And then that gets changed. So it's very funny, um, the way that happens. And it just happens that whoever the biggest guy is the one that gets credit with having come up. The, all right, let's be real. Mr. Kill has a 70 IQ. Um, he's probably not stupid. I mean, I don't think he's dumb. I just think he drinks so much. He's probably, if it's possible to lower your IQ, he's probably doing it on a daily basis. But the guy's like 40. It's really time to stop this whole thing the other night. I was listening to like when he was with the sorcerer, right? And Massey doesn't want me to get move on. And it doesn't fucking matter. This chick could show up naked at your front door, but if she don't want you, she don't want you. And this is what women do, right? How many times did somebody break up with you and then they still call you because they don't want you, but they don't want you to have anybody else. And it's up to you to man up and do it. All right. Schmiel, I'm talking about Clowntown betting. I didn't know you were banned from Clowntown. Um, Schmiel is like our Phil Collins and Stealth is our Peter Gabriel. Yeah. Um, Not now, but I would have liked to have been Phil Collins back then. Sue, studio. Um, but yeah, now he's all fucked up. So it turns out that uh, these guys who did a lot of cocaine-ish type drugs when they were younger have real neurological problems when they get older. And I've heard that like anecdotally, and now as I'm seeing it, it seems to be happening more and more. And that's the shit that I tell Dave about that stuff. So it's like if it doesn't kill you from a heart attack, you'll wind up being like 45 and with like Parkinson's or some shit. So tell you an interesting story because the guy's now dead. So I used to date a PhD who worked on curing hepatitis C, and um, it was shocking how many guys from old famous bands were there to get the treatment, and it wasn't approved by insurance companies, and it could be 12, $13,000 at a time, and they'd be like, ah, no, I want it, I want it, I want it, and just amazing. But there's like a lot of neurological problems and a lot of hepatitis C rolling around in those old rock and roll guys. Like how the fuck Ozzy's still alive blows me away. I mean, he can't. Um, Carla, PhD, pretty hot damn. No, she was okay. She was, she was fine, but nothing special. But I'm a sucker for smart girls. And speaking of which, Carla, I watched some of your YouTube stuff this week, and I really enjoyed it. And I think it's pretty cool. And on Tuesday of next week, if you're interested, Luigi Greenberg is going to be on, and he and I are going to be going through some of that stuff. Luigi grew up in that. Um, I didn't. I just seen the scams that these prophets and apostles and health and wealth preachers pull. So, and it's funny. Earlier today I was reading about Kenneth Hagin and his scams. Um, and then there there's a guy named Sean Bowles. You fuckers should look him up. It's pretty interesting. Sean, SHAWN BOLZ. Guy was all over Christian television, making millions of dollars. Um, and all he was doing was he was looking shit up on the internet, and then he would go in and be like, "Oh, oh, I'm getting Carla. God is talking to you about Carla." And then he would have all this information. And he got busted. And it turns out that the Bethel people knew about it in like 2018 or 19, but they didn't tell anybody. And they had people get married because this guy gave them a word from God. He had another guy who cashed in his retirement savings and raised like $500,000 to put film together, only to find out that uh, what had happened, and so everybody just lost their money. Anyway, um, opinion: maybe the brain damage from the cocaine has now rendered him incapable of changing. I'm thinking he doesn't have much value in his life. I don't know who we're talking about, but uh, fake beer sales, Jerry. Pamela Anderson got Hep C from Tommy Lee's dick. I'm going to imagine that it wasn't just Tommy Lee's dick. I imagine it was a lot of it. Um, Cigarette Jones, what did you think of Flimsy? So I talked to NJ today. I enjoyed it. I mostly watched the Ray part, and then I downloaded it. The thing was 4 hours long, so I downloaded it. So I've been listening to it back and forth on the train. But I do like them. Frankly, I think Ranger's one of the best. He's a great. I don't know how else to explain it. He's a great podcast guy, and so and I think he and Flimsy do well. And if they're doing this well now and they just started, they should really grow into it. They'll probably become like a powerhouse, replacing some of this other stuff. You know, some of these guys will fade away, like me. Now, in a year, nobody will remember me. I'll be gone, but Karmic will still be here. Um, but I thought Flimsy and NJ Ranger were great, so I enjoyed that. But I did, and Ray always makes a great guest because he's so difficult. He just so doesn't want to answer questions. All right. So, are will you even be remembered? Will you be even alive in a year? Opinion. Will you even be alive? You know, it's an excellent question. I could die at any moment. That's the reason why people watch. They're waiting for me to have a heart attack on stream. So one of the first streams I did, I was on with Echo Pineapple, and I dropped something, and I didn't fall out of my chair, but I jumped out to get it. Echo thought I had a heart attack. And he kept asking if I was okay. It was very funny. Um, Schmuel is forever, probably. I am what is known as the Grim Reaper's Reaper. Uh, but there we go. And I've got some plans, some things to do. So this stuff for me has just been um, getting comfortable in front of the camera, talking and learning. But I want to. We're gonna try to add in a few more things. We've got Leo. I'd like to do more interviewy kind of stuff. But what I'm finding out is some of these people, like we had Cardiff on last week, and that was a lot of fun. And it's fun finding out, that he was in trouble in seventh grade or second grade, and uh, the other stuff like that. But a lot of these people don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about themselves, and they just want to talk Dabbleverse. Uh, and that's okay. I don't mind doing it, but it's like, is your take going to be interesting or different than anybody else's take? Mr. Z, hey, Mr. Z, good evening. Hello. So I didn't get an answer to the question I asked. Did any of you guys see Point Dabble Point yesterday? And did any of you have an opinion of who did better or worse? So, oh, opinion 100% no. Do you think Ray generally doesn't want to talk Dabbleverse? No, of course he does. But to me, it's like the thing with Ray, and I've always said it to him, not talking out of school or whatever, is you say, no, I don't want to be in the Dabbleverse. I don't want to do any of this Dabbleverse show stuff. And then you go on Kevin Brennan's show, right? And so you want to be there. And then many of your guests, many of the people, the people, certainly the people that super chat you and those guys, they're all Dabbleverse people. So I kind of think it's um, a little bit uh, a little bit like, yeah, I think in his mind he wants to be just a comedian known for his comedy, but it's possible that that ship may have sailed. And but I've said to him many times, man, um, you got to either go in with both feet or get out. You got to do either one because I don't want to listen to. Yeah, I don't want to do Dabbler stuff. I don't want to talk about Dabbler stuff. And it's like then you have like a guy like me on, and then you don't want then you don't want to talk about it. And I am not uh, totally good enough um, to do that. All right, let's just see. Uh, all right. Look, I'm popping up here, but I'm not doing great with the chat tonight. Cigarette Jones thought Quad held his own, and now he's saying it's hard not to root for somebody who's three against one. I agree. Um, uh, Opinion. I generally don't want to watch anything with Quad truly, but it seems like more people think Quad won. It seems impossible since he was in enemy territory. So I think I think on the facts, I think Shuley probably did better, but I don't know that the facts matter when it's three against one. But it really wasn't three against one. It was uh, Shuley versus Quad. That was 100%. Adam seemed to vacillate between both of them, and Carl just seemed uncomfortable. Um, so I don't, um, so I think it's fair, but I think what we can tell is because it hasn't. I went looking for clips tonight because it really hasn't been clipped. I'm sure Carl will, but because it really hasn't been clipped, it doesn't seem to be drawing any heat. I'm going to assume that it was just a draw, that neither one of them won. Although um, yeah, I know where Larry. What can I can't tell. I got to. I'm using a camera that probably requires more light, and me blurry is not the hardest thing in the world. Um, so I watched it. I actually had my I don't know if you know my history. Um, I've never been a fan of beating that horse or that Shuley knew or any of those things. And frankly, I don't care why, whether or not he knew. Oh, we've got Schmuel Suckman, who last night I think was Schmuel Bugman, which was pretty funny. Um, so I I the thing the quad does that annoys me is when you ask him like a specific question, and he'll say something. Well, that's what people are saying, and I would like to ask like, well, who are the people that are saying that? Because it sounds to me like it's coming from you. Um, and there are other issues, but I also don't know why I don't know why it matters. Um, And so it's a premium. Oh yeah, I'm with you 100% on that, Shmuel. But that's that's the thing that bothered me. And look, I don't care that you don't like Shirley. I've never. It's not. That's not my thing. I'm friendly with the guy, and he's told me he didn't know, and that's good enough for me. I have no reason to disbelieve him, and I also don't know that it would make any difference if he did. But that's neither there. And so what can I tell you? But in any event, I I think it was. I frankly, I think it was a draw. I think neither one of them came out looking good. I think if you were on quad side before it started, that's who you thought won, and if you were on uh, Shuli's side, uh, then you thought Shuli won. Um, I came across that. I kind of I don't like this whole thing because I think what it's done is it's like the implication that it's almost like everybody is a pedo. And then so if everybody is, then nobody is, and it just doesn't. It loses all meaning. Like calling people Nazis, it just loses all meanings. So that's the deal. Sam Bibley. I just know one thing: she'll be never funny. That's for yeah, but it doesn't. But that's whatever. It doesn't. But that's my point. Is it doesn't matter whether or not the guy's funny or not. He did. Hey, came in. He made money with that Uncle Rico thing. Where they're going to go now, I don't know. But he sure as hell, he sure as hell was able to do something with that. So, um, and that's part of what I think. Like, I really feel like a bunch of people, they hate. I guess there's a lot of hate that comes from the Stern thing, but I don't know enough about that. But it always felt like a bunch of these people were just jealous of Shuley and Shuley's success with the John thing. And we'll see where it goes. Have you guys I don't know how much money got me saying money, Sam. Um, making money don't make him funny, right? But his goal was to make money. So I mean, you might not have liked the fact, you might not have thought that he was not funny, but that's not what he did. Um, Cigarette Jones. All right, they should really do a show where Adam and Carl are neutral and let two guests argue. Uh, yes. See, that's like I. This is what I suggested to Karmic at one point when he was saying he had the balls to face me, but apparently he doesn't. Was I said we could do it on air if he wanted. We could do it privately if he wanted, and he could record it. Uh, but I thought what would be a really good idea was to get like a mediator, somebody neutral in the middle, and that would be the way to talk about it. So that's what I would like. I like it back in the old days when you had like you would get those guys that would debate and the moderator wouldn't be on either side. He would just be trying to get people to do something. That's just an antagonistic way to accept my arguments. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you, Sam. I think it's a great idea. Um, but the only caveat I had is that I don't know that Adam and Carl could be neutral. So that's the deal. Because um, I think Carl worries about his channel and his income and all that other stuff. Um, I do love his like he gets it. You ever watch Carl and he's got his chuckle, but then he's got his like nervous chuckle, and sometimes he doesn't know what to do. Go back and watch his face during a show when Tukey was saying um, what a shit uh, place the Villa Roma was, and you could see Carl like breaking out in a cold sweat. It was pretty good. That was pretty goddamn funny. Um, and Adam is a tough one to figure out, and I I really get the feeling that like everybody that's been interviewed by him, all this other stuff, you're going to be part of some documentary at some point. But speaking of, he does get really into it. Um, Cigarette Jones, NJ Ranger. Well, I'd take NJ Ranger for me. But Carl, like if we're talking a Carl and Shuley thing, I don't think that really goes anywhere. I don't know that it goes anywhere with the argument. But if we could get a Brennan Shuley argument going with a mediator, NJ Ranger would be perfect. Um, but he's the one guy. Well, I know NJ Ranger is not a Shuley fan, and he is a KB fan. But I think that would be like the one guy that could actually set aside his differences and uh, be fair and get them both out there. But I, you know, I think going up against Kevin would be tough because what he does have a way of being very disarming, and he would probably walk away. So Kevin and Shuley would be a great one. An even better one would be John and Shuley. But I don't know who else we could match up. And yes, no gusto. We had talked about that. NJ Ranger did a good show the other night. He did. He did. And I was laughing because I was like, you went 4 hours? And he was like, yeah, we had a lot of stuff to get through. And I know that feeling, man. I did the other night. I wanted to do about an hour and a half, and we wound up doing over 3 hours with Abba and Nick. And not only was I tired as shit when I got done with it, I was like I wanted to take it down because I just was like, oh, I can't take the yelling, and it's not what I want my show to be. But it's up there. Saturday night show is unlisted for the moment because one of the guests gave out some personal information on somebody in the DV, and uh, I don't want that up on my show, so it has to be edited out. Um, and just the name, I don't really care what they said about the person, but I don't like the name stuff going in. And uh, you know, and I am definitely like those old editorials, like you can say what you want, but doesn't mean I necessarily agree with you. Um, I agree. Adam is pretty strange. I met Adam in Las Vegas, and all I'm going to say about Adam is he's an intense guy, and he's just intense, and he's very very thoughtful, maybe even too thoughtful for the Dabbleverse, uh, or for what we're used to in the Dabbleverse is probably a better way to say it. But I actually like the guy. I think he did really good um, in the interviews, and he probably disagrees with me, but like people said he trolled Joey and he trolled Chad, and I didn't think they were being trolled. I think if they would have just answered the questions or asked him questions back, they would have come across looking a lot better. But I do think that Adam probably can figure out um, where to go. Like he knows where to push, what button to push to get the response that he wants. Um, Cigarette Jones, did you ever address all the porno scat stuff Karmic was saying about you, Pat and Quad? Cigarette, I I don't really know what I don't know what to, like I don't know what to say. Look, I feel bad. I kind of feel bad for the guy. He seems to me to be a closeted fella, and he should just come out and he his like when he talks about women, it's always like an over what's the word? Like he's almost like he's trying to convince us that he likes women. And but everything when he talks about guys, I heard him talking about steel toe, and he's like, um, they're gonna be there's gonna a glory hole or something um, at uh, Stoney's, and he and Gino gonna be ass fucking. So like that's his view of men, but he's very dainty when he talks about women. So it's a little weird. Yes, no gusto, overcompensating. Opinion, start by denying the allegations. There really weren't any allegations. I mean, he made up a homoerotic love story involving fecal matter and four guys. Um, I couldn't have pulled that off. I'll tell you right now. Uh, so, smile from cigarette. Um, you should have heard what he said about um, everybody. They either tell me or they send me stuff telling me what he said about me, and I just don't feel like there's much in it for me to respond to. I mean, what am I going to say? I mean, obviously, I don't like shit porn, and I kind of feel bad for the guy. You know, he's out on a ledge. I don't want to be yelling, "Jump, jump!" Can't help that. Yeah, uh, the guy had. Yeah, hopefully he'll get some little mental help, right? Um, the Valley of Men, the next Village People album. Yeah, I think the Valley of Men might be a little too gay for the Village People, but yeah. Oh, and then look, it's just so funny because it's like he got mad because Kevin Brennan was calling him gay, and then everybody else was calling him gay, and then he put up the the picture of himself, like the what do you whatever I can't think of what they used to call it with women, but you know, he put up the picture of him that was like like a great grinder. You could just picture it like being up on Grinder or in an ad for boy butter, you know? I love lubing up with boy butter. So, mm, if he was trying to go for a gay look, uh, he couldn't have gotten it more than he got it with that picture. Books. So, that's it. I think I am gonna start wrapping it up. Uh, just a couple of like kind of quick random thirst trap. There you go. Thank you, Nodak. And as Nodak says, hit the like button. Please hit the like button or the dislike button, either or. I'm happy. Um, I I have tried over the years to watch Red Bar, um, and I just don't get it. And I know I talked about it earlier on, but I literally, I just, I don't get it. I don't know what the appeal is. And is, is it that, was he really good at one time and he's just sort of past his prime now? I can't quite figure it out. But he did seem very, very upset about the amount of money that guys like Melton make, um, and and other people, but it really felt like uh, he was a little pissed off um, that they are probably making more than him. All right, Cigarette Jones, we have to be referring to Carmack. Um, I think he's in love with Pat Dixon. There we go. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, I think he really, really looks up to Pat Dixon, and I think Pat hurt him mostly because he didn't understand what Pat was doing. But I think Pat hurt him, and he's got a little bit of like the MKE thing, where he really lashed out, and then he's like easing back, you know, hoping that someday he can, get back into Pat Dixon's life. But we'll have to see. But because Brennan, the minute he stops making money for Brennan, he's gone. Um, how much of opinion? How much of Red Bar have you watched? I've never watched a stream, but I can tell you why he's like from what he's like from some of his greatest hits. So, uh, yeah, I haven't watched enough either. I've tried, but I don't find it interesting. Um, it's all very, and maybe it wasn't at one time, but it's all very like studio and the things that he's got around and noises and shit like that, you know. But I I know that he went hard after Melton. I don't really know that I've seen much of it. Um, so I think there's got to be something that's going on that it must kill him to see Melton now kind of outdoing him. And they say that Redbar's got health problems, so maybe he can't stream as much. And that's why Melton overtook him. I don't really know, but so that was the deal. Uh, check out his boarding school story. It was great. Yeah, I look, man. It's, I don't know. Maybe he was a great storyteller, and maybe he had like a lot of stuff. I didn't see it. Um, I think I the trying to think. I don't really know that much about him. I think there was a time when he was going to do something with Compound, um, or be with Compound, and I tried watching it back then, and it it just didn't appeal to me. Frank Melton not doing Red Bar today, man, by leaps and bounds, even by by Red Bar's own words, talking about the amount of money that Melton is bringing in, you know, and Buckman, I see you have what? Buckman, I see you have made you got fake accounts chatting to MLC. MLC, you almost got the link. Uh, no, I don't have any fake accounts. I can barely keep up with what I have now. So I don't have any fake accounts. I don't if you see me, it's me in the chat unless um I was what do you call it? As in Sunday show, I got a link which is very funny. I got a link. I was busy and I got a link to the show from NJ Ranger, and I wrote back like, "Oh, dude, I can't." And apparently, Schmuel Bugman had tricked Ranger into thinking that he was me and wanted the link. So I thought that was pretty good. And I've actually been on Brennan. He did send me the link, and I got thrown off. I got thrown off twice in the same night, so I was very happy about that. Um, wait, Leo, is this true? Um, Casey, Leo, are you Ray's moderator again? Wait, wait, wait. Or is Siggy here just breaking balls? Oh, I understand, Casey, right. Sorry, I spelled it wrong. But I meant you made it. People are making fake accounts of you. Yeah, it no one is more surprised by this than me. I I've got to be honest with you. I am like I feel like I'm watching me is like watching paint dry. So I'm so honored. I really am. I'm honored that I'm here. I laugh because in the beginning I was like, it's always going to be free chat. It's always going to be me doing chat. I love the chat. And now and that was back when I had 7 viewers, and now there's 24 now, which is a big number for me. The other night I had like 40, and I'm like, there's no fucking way I can keep up with this chat. So I'm gonna have to at some point have somebody moderate, just somebody to help me to point these out so I can follow along. But this is I enjoy what KB said earlier about she doesn't like doing solo shows. They were very, very difficult in the beginning when you're like talking to the camera and there's no interaction and it's uncomfortable and you feel nervous and stuff. but it's very cool when you have people in the chat because it's like, oh, well, we can just sort of. I'm basically. I feel like I'm moderating the chat session, right? So I'm talking about what I want, but I'm talking about what you guys want. Sadly, you jumped on MLC after KB was drunk and already went long. A lot of bad timing. Um, I had the link much earlier, like 2 or 3 hours earlier, but I was doing my own show and I wanted to finish that. And then the other thing too is I would just like, if KB wants me on, um, just tell me you want me on. Give me a day. At least give me a few hours, you know, not just, oh, send me the link. Especially because I know it's going to be contentious, you know, and I didn't really want it to be contentious, but there you go. Uh, Cigarette Jones, you did great on your MLC appearance. Well, thank you, Cigarette Jones. Uh, my takeaways from that were very funny was, both Liam and uh, Carmick were coming after me. That was the whole reason, like a beef. I don't really have a beef, but I laughed because Carmick got backroomed pretty quickly because he fucking wasn't saying anything. Talks a lot of shit when I'm not there, but uh, when I'm nearby, boy, he just curls up and walks away. Um, and Liam was trying to like be smart Liam and overdo it, and he's just not. Um, he's just not capable of doing it. Uh, Chad got pretty beat up really good on MLC today over the death pool scandal. Um, that's, I think, part of the thing with Brennan is like he can be your friend one day, but he doesn't really care. He's gonna fucking go after you if he can. He knows what brings in the money, and that's where he's gonna go. And the death pool thing with Chad was so fucking stupid anyway. Um, what did they say? It was like less than $150, and if he would have just given that back, it would have been fine. Um, but and he's just he, he just he creates his own problems. And but what I do enjoy about Chad is I will watch somebody's stream, usually somebody who's not too terribly popular in the Dabbleverse, but a few people know or watch. And then the next thing you know, Chad is doing their show or using their idea. And Honk the Clown was doing the Death Pool thing earlier, and that wasn't fucking going anywhere. Um, and uh, then Chad picked it up, and and he fucked himself over into it. And KB even offered to pay Doodle uh, just to put the thing to rest. Yeah, well, KV's got some stuff too. KV told Granny that if Granny could prove that he was paid to be on Bob's show, he would give him $100. And Granny proved it, and KB never paid him the money. Now somebody else paid Granny the $100, but in Granny's mind, he still owed the 100 by KB. Uh, and I agree with that. Let's see what Frank has to say. All right. Schmuel, Melton could rally every insult on earth and get a $10 million Netflix special. It still wouldn't change the fact that he's barely funnier than Chad, and Chad actually might be funnier. I think you, my friend, have a Melton problem. I don't know why you let him bother you so much. You know, Uh, so you might want to examine that. Let's go someplace and put it away. All right, let's say. Opinion. I checked on Google and Patrick Melton, and nobody likes onions. Don't come close to Red Bar in interest. I think the court visit did create a spike of interest that was comparable, though. Um, yeah, except I was comparing over the last like year or so, um, but it's not a fair comparison because Red Bar has not been putting up shows with any regularity. They seem very hit or miss. Um, but also too, I can't help but believe that Patrick's existence in any streaming universe, and the fact that he can put on like the Hackamania shows and that people want him to come to places, I can't believe that that doesn't fucking drive Red Bar crazy, because I think Red Bar really like he really set out to drive Patrick out of the universe, and it didn't happen. Instead, Melton did did things. Yeah. So look, I agree that Melton's rise is only recent and Red Bar is in bad health. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a head-to-head comparison to make, um, but um, from what I've seen and from what it looks like to me, there's way more current interest in Patrick Melton than there is in Red Bar. And when I ask people, um, cool, because I gotta get off. When I ask people uh, who Red Bar is, um, the universe of people that know who he is just getting smaller and smaller, and more people. Um, you hate KB more than I hate Melton. I don't hate Melton. I hate the manipulation of incels. We'd be trying to show them there's a better way than harassing people you don't agree with. Um, Number one, I don't hate Kevin Brennan, right? Um, to be honest, Kevin Brennan really doesn't have an effect on my life one way or the other. I don't watch shows very much. I think he's a funny guy. The thing that if I dislike anything about Kevin, it's like he's using his talent for evil instead of good. Um, and this thing about Melton and incels is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Uh, Believe me, there's plenty of people at those shows that are not incels. Way more incel type guys at DabbleCon 2 than and anything I've seen with Patrick. And even the Atlantic City trips. I mean, people bring their wives and shit to that. All right, let's well, supposedly when Red Bar ran Melton off the internet was before Melton entered the Dabbleverse. Red Bar must have thought he was nothing and then became something covering nobodies. Hello, which is what Red Bar did, right? Um, Look, we could argue this forever, but there was something about Steel Toe that Patrick saw that nobody else saw, and he stuck with it, and he's turned it into something over the last little while. And this was not anything that would interest me at all, but I'm fascinated to find out what's going on with these HROs. I'm fascinated to find out if I don't think the Steel Toe show is going to come off the anniversary thing, so I don't think we'll see Gino and Keanu in Minnesota. But let's assume I'm wrong and they do go. Um, I can't imagine that they get in and get out of Minnesota without some sort of legal cock up. They get served with something that something happens. Um, but I will say this: I saw on Reddit today somebody called the Wapakata golf course and was trying to get Aaron in trouble for sponsors or having people, and they put Wapakata's phone number up, and they were like, "You could report him too." To me, that's bullshit. And say what you will about Melton, I've never seen him do that. Now, maybe people think that he's doing that in code, but I don't really ever remember Melton doing anything. Although there might have been something about the lottery or whatever, but uh, I don't. I that's where it's messed up. That's what I don't like. Hold on here, Buckman. The reason you and Lady K support that Weirdo Melton is because you don't have kids and excuse pedophilia. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's you're You're so smart. You're like right on. Uh, you know what? You got to bring that to the press because they'd be really interested in that kind of logic. Um, but yeah, I uh, but not much else to say, kids. So I hear Pat is on. I hear Karmic is on. I don't know whether you guys are jerking me around or not because I'm not going to look. But it's 11:43 and it's time for this old boy to get off. Be back on Thursday about 8 o'clock with Leo. Next Tuesday is excuse me, Luigi Greenberg, and I gave Stealth a choice of Tuesday or Thursday. He didn't get back to me, but I'm hoping he comes on Thursday. And so Melton's a weird fucking guy. I'm just saying that Butch Bradley show said a lot. All I'm going to say to you is about Butch Bradley. Uh, Butch Bradley is not a guy that's running around with a good reputation. Butch Butch's reputation is marginal at best, and uh, look, I've I've heard guys say that he booked clubs. I think he was in Florida, he booked clubs and they didn't get paid. They got told they were going to get paid one thing, they got paid something else. They had to chase him down for money, and he was such a whiny little bitch when he was trying to get his restraining order against Patrick. Thursday is not Leo Gunn, but Leo the paralegal, and I'm sure that what do you call it, will come up. Um, the HRO stuff will probably come up, but we're really more focusing on the DMA versus fraud or troll lawsuit and the um, I was going to say Elliot, but the other guy, Ethan something, Ethan Klein against chatters, or not chatters, streamers, because those two lawsuits may Ethan Klein's probably would lend if it gets somewhere, it will lend a lot more clarity to sniping and streaming and the stuff that goes on here. Um, Leo Gunn, Butch Bradley's a fucking retard. Looked like a total fool trying to explain the Melton lawsuit. Yeah, look, it came across to me as a guy who was like butthurt and really had to seek he was like seeking out stuff. Um, the Aussie guy, Leo is a dynamite personality. Uh, I do believe we've got a touch of sarcasm from down under. Let's see. Having a bad reputation doesn't justify trying to character assassinate someone. Um, there was money involved. Um, the Aussie guy was probably one of my favorite shows. I so enjoyed that. Um, Mm. I like how KB is trying to get a job at Home Depot to show Ray and Chad of the world he isn't above it. Quite the contrast. The cool guys who smoke a cigar on camera. KB's not getting a job at Home Depot, right? Going on the internet and looking at Home Depot's job applications and getting a job are, and actually working it if you got it, two very different things. But who knows? Maybe everybody's right and he's got a lot of time on his hands, you know? So maybe going to Home Depot will do it. I got a 72-year-old neighbor down by the beach who works at Home Depot, and the only reason why he works at Home Depot is to get away from his wife. So, I, you know, maybe that's a maybe that's a Brennan thing. Although Brennan doesn't really seem to have anybody around him at all these days. So, um, who knows what's going on there? Um, It doesn't matter. He's showing he isn't above it. Frank, I don't think Kevin's ever gonna date you, man. I mean, you really, really ball wash for him. Um, what is it? Ball washing, dick riding. So I mean, come on, man. Uh, what did Stuttering John say? Frank, get up off your knees. You're embarrassing yourself. Um, uh, Send me the link button. You only stream with ball washers, and I'll be respectful. Dude, I don't know who the fuck you are. So show me something first. And yeah, this is pretty funny. What we really need is Ray's take on these harassment orders. Okay, do we think that Ray even understands what the harassment order is or how it works? And so uh, you ball wash anyone that says something bad about KB. Not true, but if that's how you feel, man, you're welcome to your opinion. Just like karmic and shit porn, you know, go there. And Frank says, I've never been to any of his events. You're 20 years older than the events of the people you're going to. At least, maybe more. And until they put in an age cap, I'll probably still be going. So there we go. Um, you don't know who Casey Armstrong is? If he comes on, he'll make you look like Ray, if that makes any sense. Um, Yeah, I can't imagine that that's the real Casey Armstrong. Because the Casey Armstrong I met, the one in Pottstown, uh, much classier guy, and he did a stand-up set, and I actually enjoyed it. I liked it. And Soup Party wants a backflip, and Soup, I would backflip off the balcony, but I'm only like I don't know, 8 feet off the ground, 10 feet off the ground, whatever the first story is above the garage thingy there. So that's the deal. But yeah, so the real Casey Armstrong, I'd send the link to in a minute. I'd have him on. But Casey, Casey, from everything I know about Casey Armstrong, is Casey's a good guy, and if he had an opinion, it wouldn't be the same one that all the that just seems what's the word that I'm looking for? Manufactured. It seems like he would really be that. Um, KB paid Ray DeVito 10,000 in 1 year, but you act like KB is a bad friend to Ray. He is 50 and needs money, not friends. Hey man, if I smack you around and give you 30 bucks for it, is it worth it? Just personal opinion, but yeah. But he also used the money that he paid Ray as a cudgel, and he didn't shut up about him. So, and now he stream snipes them because he doesn't have any content of his own. So the only way he gets it is by doing these other things. Um, oh, I was referring to Casey Armstrong hairline. He's a hoot. He seems to be tapped in. Um, okay. I don't know the guy, but that's it. But when you say, "Oh, Kevin gave Ray $10,000," he gave him nine, not 10. Not life-changing amount of money, that's for sure. And it wasn't like Ray didn't do the work for it. So there we go. Um, KB might be brain damaged, but he's a goat in the DB who runs shit. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Uh, he's definitely on top of things. He definitely knows what to do. And the thing about KB that I find interesting is there have been times when I've known that he's known information about things way, now I don't say way before, but he's known stuff about it and he's held on to it and then used it when he when he when he when he could take advantage of it as opposed to being like the other fucking people who like the minute they hear something they gotta run to the internet like ooh because they're terrified that somebody else might do it before them. Um, uh, you think Ray built his audience? That's KB's audience, and I've been on bigger shows than yours, Buckman. Uh, and I like you, bro, but so biased, dude. Every show is bigger than mine. I mean, seriously, come on, that's not an own. And and all I know from you, honest to God, is the chats back and forth that we're doing here tonight. So that's about it. Um, it's a third of his income, relatively speaking. That's life changing for Ray. I don't know. Use your example. If he worked for Home Depot, right? Should Home Depot be able to treat him like shit just because they pay him? It's just my opinion. Obviously, Ray doesn't agree with me. He keeps going on there, and yeah, I did think about getting some uh, music, like a music bed or whatever, but we have to give that a little bit of time. I'm sort of at I'm at the end of a career, and it's taking up a lot more time to develop my exit strategy than I thought it would. I thought I'd be out about 2 years ago, and then COVID knocked me back a few years, and then last year I was happy. I was enjoying working, so but this year, hopefully, I think my plan currently is to be done working by August of next year and pretty much semi-retired by later this year, starting maybe like in October. So I'll have more time to do that stuff. Um, oh, look at that. Suit party. Thank you, Soup, for the $3. Get in the hot tub. I'm not at the hot tub tonight. I'll be there this weekend, though. Up in the city, so, as they say. And Cigarette Jones, if I could, oh, music, music, music. Yeah. I could sing for y'all. That'd fucking hurt you. But thank you, Sue Party. Sue Party, you are like my biggest super tipper, and that's the deal. Schmuel's exit strategy is like the end of Scarface. I don't know, man, but if I promise that if I ever do Scarface type exit strategy, I'll do it live on stream, or at the very least, I'll be strapped with a camera. So that would be pretty cool. So let me rock and roll out of here, kids. It's been fantastic. I really enjoy thing. Soup Party, that's actually crazy. Yeah, you know what? You're one of the few people that actually understand it and have been cool with it. And I don't really ask for them, which I should, but I don't know. I feel I get that thing where I feel like it's like I kind of feel bad asking people for money. Um, but I'm sure that'll change as I need to get things. Let's just see here. When you're doing as bad as Ray, I think the abuse is barely a change of level and dignity. Ray is always literally a cunt hair away from being capable of collecting welfare. Um, yeah, but I mean, look, I'd rather collect welfare than suffer that abuse, but that's his whole thing. Um, Shmuel, do you think Israeli setters who set ablaze a Christian cemetery and one of the oldest churches in the world should be jailed? Uh, I don't know. Right after the Hamashi guys have destroyed many, many a Christian cemetery. Um, well, frankly, I think all of the religious stuff is bullshit. Hey, man, I'm out of here. Good night, guys. And Frank, I hope you find peace. Namaste.